Welcome back. Today we are looking at the HP 156-inch touchscreen laptop computer Intel 13th review durability and design tested. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate when I see a spec sheet boasting 64 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 terabytes SSD paired with an Intel 13th generation Core i7 processor. My immediate reaction isn't aweits cynical suspicion. Check the video description for the updated price link. Too many manufacturers take aging architecture, throw an absurd amount of memory at it like masking tape on a cracked engine block, and market it as the ultimate productivity workstation. For years, I have watched consumer notebooks crumble under heavy workloads, throttle their thermal limits within minutes of launching an application, and disappoint users who paid top dollar for inflated numbers on a page. So, when the HP 15.6-inch touchscreen laptop frequently linked to elite enterprise lineages like the HP EliteBook 860G11 laptop ecosystem crossed my desk, my internal alarm bells were ringing. I walked into this review fully prepared to tear it apart. I expected thermal throttling to choke the processor, a flimsy plastic chassis masquerading as professional hardware, and a battery life that would barely survive a commute. Business laptops and desktop replacements often promise the moon, while delivering a sluggish user experience laden with bloatware. Furthermore, finding balanced hardware for multimedia tasks can be exhausting if you are looking to set up an immersive workspace. You might even find yourself checking out a related product guide to complement your desktop or office audio layout. But back to the machine at hand. Does this spec monster actually hold up under aggressive scrutiny? Or is it just another overpriced paperweight? To understand whether this laptop deserves space on your desk, we need to inspect its internal anatomy piece by piece. At the heart of this machine sits the Intel 13th generation Core i7-1355U processor. Featuring a 10-core architecture, it balances performance and efficiency cores designed to handle multi-threaded workflows without draining the battery instantly. However, U-series chips have traditionally been viewed as compromised processors good for battery, but sluggish under sustained multi-core loads compared to their H-series counterparts. My skepticism was palpable. How would a 10-core U-series chip cope when bombarded with heavy database queries, virtualization, and simultaneous code compilation? Then we arrive at the elephant inches the room: 64 gigabytes of RAM and a massive 2 terabytes solid-state drive. Inches most retail configurations, vendors try to hook buyers with high RAM numbers while quietly using slow, low-tier memory modules or bottlenecked storage speeds. I cracked open benchmarks and stress tests to see if these numbers were genuine or merely marketing filler. To my absolute shock, the memory bandwidth tests revealed swift, responsive multitasking that made short work of dozens of browser tabs, virtual machines, and local database instances running concurrently. The 2 terabytes NVMe SSD also proved exceptionally swift, registering rapid read and write speeds that eliminated file transfer bottlenecks entirely. The display is another focal point. Featuring a 15.6-inch full HD 1920 by 1080 touchscreen panel rated at 300 nits, it hits a practical middle ground. Initially, I scoffed at the lack of a 4K resolution option at this price tier. Yet, as I used it outdoors and under harsh office fluorescent lighting, the 300 nit brightness proved adequate, cutting through glare far better than expected. The touchscreen responsiveness is crisp, accurate, and completely devoid of the laggy input delay that plagues cheap touch panels. Paired with Windows 11 Pro for Business, the operating system security protocols and enterprise features make this an absolute powerhouse for professionals and advanced students alike. Skepticism demands proof, so I subjected this machine to brutal, unyielding stress testing. I loaded up intensive development environments, rendered complex video timelines, opened over 75 heavy Google Chrome tabs, and ran concurrent virus scans. I waited for the fans to scream inches protest, for the chassis to become uncomfortably hot to the touch, and for Windows to throw a memory error. Instead, the cooling solution efficiently dissipated heat while keeping fan noise remarkably subdued. The Intel Core i7-1355U maintains steady clock speeds, proving that HP's thermal engineering is far more competent than my initial doubts allowed for. Check the link in the description to get yours today.